the same.
Okay, so do you think, why do you think it's important for a child to be brought up with a musical background? Do you think it's important?
I think it's extremely important. I think there are many great activities for kids to be, part of. Sure, sports, it's great, arts, different art forms other than music. But I think the advantage that music has is that music can develop a kid holistically. It can nurture their mind, it can nurture their body, and especially their heart. And it's something that, you can only get 5 people on a basketball court, right? You guys just showed that, how many were in the orchestra?
More than 150.
More than 100, right. 150.
I think there was more than
Okay.
that.
So, it's something that you can get all 150 together, and the goal for everyone is to agree with one another. So if you put that power in a child's hand from the very beginning, this idea and concept of agreeing, working with one another, listening to one another, supporting one another, then hopefully by the time that they go, I don't know, to high school, to college, that they're better prepared. But when you have the opportunity to have those little successes every day, then the kids start telling themselves, well, maybe I can do something. The performances are great because the students get a chance to look back on all of the work that they have done to say, wow, over the past 2 months, this is what I have accomplished. You do that enough times, sure, that's what builds the confidence. But I think the act of being on the stage, that can be still quite terrifying.
Okay. What made you think that music was a feasible career choice?
What happened is that I think my definition of success changed. Things just had to shift for me. I had to think about what I thought was successful. And I had to learn it the hard way, that sure, musicians don't make a bunch of money. I would say the majority of us don't make a bunch of money. But being able to have what I need and be able to kind of be myself, I think that's what's really important.
So did your experience at Curtis open any doors to start the Tune Up Philly program?
Wow, I think a lot. The first thing it did is that through Curtis I did a lot of outreach. And that's when I went into a lot of Philadelphia schools. And I just saw a lot of bad stuff. Where the teachers were expected to be miracle workers and they weren't given enough supplies. They would have a group of like 50 kids with different instruments, not much support from a principal. And I knew that something better could be done. That was my first introduction. And then the other things is just being connected. Curtis is very well respected. So me being able to go to people saying I'm a Curtis graduate, it's like saying I'm a Princeton graduate. For example, kind of those bragging rights and that respect of even getting into the school, let alone finishing. So.
In your eyes, what does it take for anyone to be a musician?
I think a lot of hard work and dedication, because you pick up the instrument every day and it will slap you in the face, pretty much. It's tough. It's trial and error. You fail, you try to get better. You fail, you try to get better in a way, and I think that if you don't have that dedication and, that commitment, then it's one of the two things that you can't really go in life and be successful and not have those two things. So simply developing those skills and then being able to take those skills away and to do something else, for example, like start Tune Up Philly. I'll tell you now, my budget this year for Tune Up Philly is about $340,000. We specifically wanted to build a 3-year pilot program that will cost approximately $1 million that will help show this work can actually happen. I am 24 years old, and I've never pretty much raised a penny in my life before this. I didn't really know anything about managing 12 teachers or running an after-school program for 80 kids and interacting with this community. But what music taught me was that, sure, I'm going to get up and I'm going to ask you for $10,000. And either you're going to tell me yes or no. And if you tell me no, it's okay. It's just another form of rejection, I guess, in my eye. But maybe I can say the right thing to you to convince you to give me the $10,000 so that I can run a program, for example. Or I sit down with a teaching artist and I say, I want you to come teach in Tune Up Philly. It's a wonderful program.
Okay. Can teachers relate to their students on a personal level?
I mean, you spend 2.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. You the kids start to treat our teachers like the missing parents. The dad that isn't in their life. Or maybe the mom that has passed away. Or that the brother who got murdered a year ago. I mean, there's some really awful things that happen within these kids' lives, and to be able to have that stability every day it's invaluable, because the students start to look at the teachers as being those missing parental figures, because we say, no, you're going to act well today. You're going to pay attention. We have these expectations. You're going to play this music really well. And it takes the kids some time to realize that we aren't going to change our mind. They're the ones that have to change their mind. And once they make that connection, then the teacher and the student bond. It's very, very special.
So do the kids and students, do they learn, other than playing the instrument, do they learn any other skills like patience, confidence?
Yeah, wow. I guess I would ask you three the question of what skills do you think that you have learned by playing music?
Yes, patience,
Sure.
number one.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Yeah, and dedication.
Because I love watching a kid pick up any instrument for the first time. And, they see you do it, they think it's a piece of cake, right? You just get the little bow, and you just pull it across the string, and you put your fingers down, and everything works. I mean, that's literally what they think. Then they finally hold the instrument themselves. First of all, just to get their bow hold correct. I mean, that's one thing, let alone to get their embouchure set. And then you watch this process where the kids just kind of shut down in a way, because they don't really know how to respond to what's happening to them, other than, wait, let me give up. But we're there to say, no, don't give up yet. We're going to be there every step of the way for you. So follow us, and we're going to give you these small enough tasks so that you can feel like you're accomplishing something day by day.
Okay. As a teacher, what is the biggest reward to you earn? What?
Just watching what happens with these kids. It's very clear. And I think that's the best payment. I love sitting back, every 2 months when we give our big concerts, and to watch the progress, to watch the new connections that are made in these kids' lives. That's the biggest reward.
Do you think that if your students work hard in their program, will they be able to get into competitive schools such as Juilliard or Curtis?
Sure. I mean, our goal is not to encourage the kids to be a professional musician. We're first trying to encourage them to just become better people. But those that really want to take it to the next level, that have that fire and a little bit of support from home, sure, we'll recommend a teacher for them. And I think for a lot of the kids, they have nothing to lose, to go through this process. And sure, I think we will see some of them that will really jump over the hump. But for the majority, we do all of our learning in groups. So the kids, they always have group lessons. They always learn as an orchestra. So those are all really big pluses that helps to keep them engaged.
Okay, so we know that in Venezuela, the El Sistema, it was more than just like a school, it was like a second home. Some of the students says. Do you think that Tune Up Philly is like that too?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
Wow, how so? I mean, it's a safe environment. The kids can come in and they can fall flat on their face, and we're going to be there to help pick them up. They can have fun, they can be challenged, they can, spend more time with their friends. We take them on trips. They go see all different parts of the city. We're taking them to Baltimore soon. There's a lot of pride that's behind what these kids are doing.
So, for lastly, what is your plan for the future?
Ooh, take over the world. No, I mean, we just want to show that this program, it's, the most cost-effective social program. And that we can have the deepest impact, deeper than a Boys and Girls Club or a YMCA. And that we can provide a well-rounded experience for these kids to grow. So, with hopes to, take advantage of arts falling out of the school. As you probably know, I'm sure, well, I know things in Jersey are pretty tough. But same thing in Pennsylvania, and especially in Philadelphia, the budget cuts. We're going to see a lot of these programs disappear. But Tune Up Philly is a way that they can rebuild that infrastructure much more cost effectively than they have before. So we hope to see ensemble programs all over the city. Orchestras, jazz bands, string orchestras, wind ensembles, and the kids can literally walk 10 blocks to go to a rehearsal every day after school and hang out in this safe environment. So that's what I hope. I hope we have 10,000 kids in sites all over the city. So we'll start with the first 80.
Thank you so much. Yeah.